Greetings of the day, dear students. We have been discussing about the various approaches for solid waste management in unit number 4. In the previous class, we have discussed landfill and composting and vermicomposting. And one of the important methods for the management of solid waste and the production of useful resources such as bioenergy, that is biogas, this technology or approach is known as anaerobic digestion. We have already discussed this topic in wastewater treatment. One of the important secondary treatment system is anaerobic sludge digester, and we have already seen the preliminary aspects of this anaerobic digestion. And the next topic in unit number 4, anaerobic digesters. Okay, so the design or the the system that performs the anaerobic digestion is known as anaerobic digesters. So first we will discuss about the anaerobic digestion process in detail. Then we will go through the design and configuration of this type of digester with the merits and demerits and applications. So anaerobic digestion, as you all know, it is a natural process in which microorganisms are utilizing to break down the complex organic material into simpler form. It's a sequence of steps and processes in which the microorganisms broken down into biodegradable material in absence of oxygen or in an anaerobic condition. Lot of anaerobic microorganisms plays a very vital role. The process is used for both industrial or domestic purpose to manage the solid waste or to produce the bioenergy such as biofuels, especially biogas. So this picture indicates the overview of anaerobic digestion. So this is known as anaerobic digester. So where you collect the feedstock will be collected from various sources, and this will be digested in a singular manner or in a combination. If you employ the combination approach, that is known as co-digestion. So if you use manure such as dairy or swine or beef or poultry products, the wastewater biosolids such as municipal sewage sludge and food sources like a household, restaurant, cafeteria and grocery and food production sources, and the other organic such as energy crops, fats, oils, grease, crop residues, winery and brewery waste, all those things will be act as the feed, and that will be digested in an anaerobic environment. That will give two products. One is the biogas, next one is the biodigestate. And this biogas, and along with some byproduct feedstock such as bioplastics also can be produced. Those the biogas that is obtained from this anaerobic digestion can be used as electricity and can be used as a heat, or that can be used as a vehicle fuel. Moreover, there is a renewable natural gas, and this digestate that can be used for horticulture products, okay, soil amendment, peat moss replacement and plant pots, etc. And this digestate that can be used as an organic fertilizer, animal bedding and animal bedding and other products such as building material and the crop irrigations. Then what are the major concept of anaerobic digestion? So the anaerobic digestion we have already studied. It's a digestion process begins with the bacterial hydrolysis of the input material or substrate that is acted on the act as this feed material. So these microorganisms, especially anaerobic organisms, they are able to produce various types of enzyme. That enzyme will be able to degrade these complex materials, and that will be produced the simple components. So such as the first step is the insoluble organic components such as carbohydrates and other complex starch, which are broken down into soluble substances, and such as glucose, that will be available for the food source for the other organisms. Then the next group of organism called acidogenic bacteria that utilizes this substrate and convert the sugar, amino acids, etc. into carbon dioxide, hydrogen, ammonia, and organic acid. Then after that, the acetogenic bacteria convert this organic acid into acetic acid, ammonia, hydrogen, and carbon dioxide, in addition to other component. Finally, the methanogenic bacteria or methanogens utilizes all these components and convert these components into methane and carbon dioxide that can be act as the biogas. So the methanogenic archaeobacteria also play an important role in the anaerobic wastewater treatment digestion process. So this is just an overview. So the hydrolytic bacteria, acidogenic bacteria and methanogenic bacteria are the major important organism that plays a very vital role into the anaerobic system. So the anaerobic digestion is used as a part of the process to treat the biodegradable waste and sewage sludge, and which reduces the emission of the landfill gas into the atmosphere, and which can also fed with purposes or grown energy crops. Okay, and this anaerobic digestion is used as a source of renewable energy, and the product is the biogas such as methane, carbon dioxide, hydrogen, and other gases. And this biogas can be used as a fuel in combined heat and power gas engines, or upgraded to natural gas quality biomethane can be produced from this particular steps. And this biogas are the nutrient rich digestate that is produced and can be used as a excellent fertilizers. And this technology, the anaerobic digestion, has received attention in an enormous way in several countries. They utilize the biotechnology resources such as United Kingdom, Germany, Denmark, and the US. Okay, so these are the major scope of this anaerobic digestion. So this is what is an anaerobic digester. So here you can see this is a big tank, that is most of the part is underground soil, that is beneath the soil, and there you can see a big tank is produced, and here you can see there is an inlet, there is a pipe where we are able to deposit all our material, the so-called substrate or feed, the waste material that I have already emphasized on the first slide here. Okay, so here, and this, all these waste materials will be mixed by using the various types of the bacteria, and there will be a slurry will be produced, and the gas, the hydrogen and the methane along with the hydrogen will be act as the biogas, and the undigest, the remaining residues, that will be act as the digestate that will be going for the outlet and fertilizers. Okay, and the this is the schematic of an anaerobic digester, and the digested slurry, okay, is known as the digestate that can be used as a fertilizer, and the biogas can be used as the energy. This is the overview and the structure of an anaerobic digester. So what is the principle of anaerobic digestion? So this we have already discussed. The organic waste is separated from inorganic material and passed through an anaerobic digester, which contains three types of microorganisms. One is acidogenic bacteria, acetogenic bacteria, and methanogens. The microorganism begins to break the organic waste into the simpler form such as sugars and fatty acid by hydrolysis. The hydrolytic organism that produces the enzymes. Okay, so these hydrolytic enzymes will be applied here, and that will be convert the complex organic material into the simpler form. The next one is the acidogenic bacteria convert the sugar and amino acid into carbon dioxide, hydrogen and ammonia and other organic acid. The next one is the acetogenic bacteria, which convert the organic acid into the more carbon dioxide, hydrogen and ammonia. Then the last step, the methanogens, which converts the products of the last two steps, both acidogenic stage and acetogenic stage, into biogas. And due to this particular process, approximately 60% of the methane and 40% of carbon dioxide can be produced. And this is sometimes the 60 plus 30 plus 10 other components such as hydrogen and other very minor gases. And this biogas is used as the source for heat and electricity. So these are the various stages. We are going to discuss the details about this particular stage. There are four important stages are there in anaerobic digestion. One is hydrolysis, next one is acidogenesis, next one is acetogenesis, next one is methanogenesis. The overall process, that means to say the substrate consisting of the complex polysaccharides and carbohydrate that will be converted into simpler form by hydrolytic enzymes produced by the bacteria into that is the glucose. This glucose will biochemically metabolized by microorganisms such as acidogenesis, acetogenic bacteria and methanogenic bacteria, and produce the carbon dioxide and methane. Okay, that is C6H12O6, the glucose, 3 carbon dioxide plus 3 molecules of methane it is produced. And now we are going to discuss the each step in detail. So the hydrolysis, as you all know, the biomass is made up of large organic polymers. The fundamental organic polymers are carbohydrates, and the complex carbohydrate is broken down into simple form such as monomers, such as sugars, which are readily available for the growth of other bacteria. The process of conversion and breaking down the complex material into the smaller molecules into the solution is known as hydrolysis. The enzyme that is acted on this particular step is known as hydrolytic enzymes. So this hydrolysis of this high molecular weight polymeric component is the first step in the anaerobic digestion. So this is the first step. Okay, so the complex organic material in these steps are broken down into simpler sugars, amino acids and fatty acid, along with the acetic acid and hydrogens are produced in the first step, that also can be used as a directly to the methanogenic process. The other molecules such as VFAS, that is volatile fatty acid with a long chain which is greater than the acetate, will be catabolized into the compound that can be directly enters into the methanogens, and the process is known as methanogenesis. Then this step, acidogenesis, the biological process of acidogenesis result the further breakdown of the remaining, the subsequent component that is not degraded in the previous state by acidogenic bacteria, or otherwise known as fermentative bacteria. So the end products are the volatile fatty acids, ammonia, carbon dioxide and hydrogen, and other byproducts are also produced. That is known as acidogenesis. Okay. Then the next one is acetogenesis. Okay. This is the third stage of anaerobic digestion. That is the simpler molecule that is created to the previous step, such as volatile fatty acid, the ammonia, carbon dioxide and hydrogen sulfide, etc., will be converted or digested into converted to acetic acid, carbon dioxide and hydrogen by acetogens or acetic acid bacteria. So that is the important step. And then last step is methanogenesis. This is the final stage of anaerobic digestion or terminal stage of anaerobic digestion. It is the process that is methanogenesis. The methanogens are the bacteria which utilizes the intermediate product in the previous stages, such as this acidogenesis and acetogenesis into into useful form and convert into methane, carbon dioxide and water. So these components which produces the majority of the biogas emitted from the system. The methanogenesis is very sensitive process to the pH. Okay, so very high pH, and the if the pH is very high, it will be a problem. Then if the pH is very low, then it is a problem. So it will takes approximately 6.5 slightly acidic to a very high alkaline nature, 8 actually. So the remaining indigestible material, the microbes cannot be utilized. Any dead bacterial which are remains in this particular system, that constitute the digestate. Okay, the end product of this particular process is biomethane, carbon dioxide and water, plus this undigestible material and the dead debris, okay, and the other undigested material, that is known as digestate. So that is why the microbiology has a very important role. All this process are microbial process, because in hydrolysis, hydrolytic bacteria are involving. Acetogenesis, the organism, they are able to synthesize the acetogenesis, do the acetogenesis process. The fermentative bacteria will be involved. Acidogenesis and acetogenesis, okay, this process are also microbiology process. And finally methanogenesis, okay, that is also a microbiology strict anaerobic process. So these are the various stages. So this is what I have been telling. So here you can see the entire this picture indicate the entire biochemical mechanism of anaerobic digestion, where you can see 6 sets of organism and 4 process: the hydrolysis, acetogenesis, acetogenesis and methanogenesis. So where in hydrolysis, that is the hydrolytic bacteria which act on the complex organic material such as carbohydrates, protein and fats, which produces the soluble organic molecules such as sugars, amino acids and fatty acid by hydrolytic bacteria, and this step is known as hydrolysis. So then this soluble organic material, either it will directly convert into hydrogen plus carbon dioxide by fermentative bacteria or acidogenic bacteria, or acetic acid, or it converted directly into acetic acid by fermentative bacteria, or it will convert into volatile fatty acid and alcohols. Okay, volatile fatty acid and alcohol, all these reactions are catalyzed by the fermentative bacteria. Then once this particular process is already over, then the volatile fatty acids are converted into either acetic acid or hydrogen and carbon dioxide by the hydrogen producing acetogenic bacteria. Okay, hydrogen producing acetogenic bacteria, the volatile fatty acid will be converted into either acetic acid or hydrogen and carbon dioxide by hydrogen producing acetogenic organism. Then this hydrogen and carbon dioxide, they combines to form acetic acid, that is known as the acetogenesis. Genesis means synthesis. Okay, the hydrogen and carbon dioxide, that will be produce acetic acid by the activity of hydrogen utilizing homoacetogenic bacteria. Hydrogen utilizing homoacetogenic bacteria, that is known as the step number 4. And last step, this acetic acid directly will be converted into methane and carbon dioxide, that by using acetoclastic methanogenic organism. Acetoclastic methanogenic organism, acetic acid converting to methane and carbon dioxide, that is catalyzed by the enzyme produced by the acetoclastic methanogens. In the last stage, the carbon dioxide and hydrogen combines to form methane and carbon dioxide, okay, by carbon dioxide reducing methanogenic bacteria. So these are the various steps. The final end product is methanogen and carbon dioxide. Then there are various types of anaerobic digesters, that is based on their working and their various categories on the feedstock. There are 2 types. One is known as wet digesters. Next one is known as dry digesters. The wet digesters are the most common type. They they process the feedstock that contain less than 50% of the solid. The solids are less than 50% solids, and a dry digester which process the feedstock that contain more than 50% of solid. One is less than, that is dry, and more than, one is the less than 50% of solid, that is wet digesters, and next one is more than 50%, that is dry digesters. So when multiple types of feedstock such as manure and food waste are digested at the same time using the same process, that is known as co-digestion. Both multiple types of feedstock, the manure and food waste are done by the same time, that is known as a co-digestion. Then here you can see a anaerobic digester that is commonly situated and commonly used for the digestion process. And this is one of the complex anaerobic digester that is present in Germany. I have told you, Germany is one of the most important country. They have been utilizing the anaerobic digestion system for the production of for the managing of solid waste. You can see the complete facilities. They can see actually. Okay, only the top it is visible. Underground there are a lot of systematic chambers that produce the biogas are present. So this very beautiful. The configuration and the digester, the overview of the digester. Then how you are going to design and configure anaerobic digesters. The equipment we are using for the anaerobic digestion process is known as anaerobic digesters. Okay, and this anaerobic digesters can be designed and configured to operate using a number of different configurations, and they can be classified into 4 different groups. Okay, one is the batch and continuous process types. Second one is mesophilic versus thermophilic temperature conditions. Third one is high and low portion of solid. Next one is single stage or multi-stage process. So the first one is batch and continuous. The batch process, you know that the feed is continuously adding. Once the one set of feed is completely treated, then the end product will be obtained by using microorganism, by hydrolysis, acidogenesis, acetogenesis and methanogenesis. Then the feed will be taking as the then the byproducts will be taking as the end products. Then, but in the case of continuous process, the feeds are continuously added, and one side feeds are continuously added. The process is continuously, you are continuously generating what the end products. Okay, so this process are not stopping. In the previous case, one time you are adding the feed, once it is over, then the next batch of feed you are adding. That is known as batch process. But here, the continuously you are adding the waste material. Second one is mesophilic or thermophilic temperature condition. If you use the mesophilic condition, approximately 25 to 45 degrees centigrade, that is known as a mesophilic digester. Next one is thermophilic temperature digester. If you are using thermophilic conditions for the digester, that is known as thermophilic temperature digester. And here the microorganisms are the thermophilic bacteria. The previous case the microorganisms are mesophilic bacteria. Next one is a high and low portion of solid. So one is we can use the high quality solid, and next one is you can add a low quantity. Next type is low quality solid. The next one is single stage or multi-stage processes. One will work based on the only single stage processes. Next one will be working multiple processes at the same time. That is known as co-digestion mode. And what are the other criteria need to be considered or need to be configured in order to get a good anaerobic digester? The first one is the complexity. The digestion system can be configured with the different levels of complexities, such as single stage digestion system or one stage system, where the biological reaction occur in a single sealed reactor or a holding tank. Okay, in a single sealed reactor or holding tank, the entire process is happening. Next one is a two-stage digestion system or multi-stage system. Here the different digestion vessels are optimized to get maximum control over the bacterial communities in the digester. So different digestion vessels are optimized at the same time. then you will be getting what? You will be getting the bacterial maximum bacterial community. The next one is the residence time. The residence time is the time that is required for a microorganism to residing in a digester. That the residing time in a digester, which varies the amount and type of feed materials and the configuration of the digestion system, which is varied based on the kinds and the amount of substrate we are going to use and the configuration of the digestion system we are going to use. And residing time, it's ultimate time that is required for a particular digestion digester. If it's in the case of a two-stage mesophilic digestion, 15 to 40 days is the residing time. But in the case of single stage thermophilic digestion, it requires only 14 days. So how much time it is required to complete this particular process, that is known as the residence time. The next one is the inhibition. This is one of the most important parameter for anaerobic digesters, because the anaerobic digestion process can be inhibited by several components. The degree of inhibition, that is generally depending upon the concentration of the inhibitor in the digester. Say for example, if there are ammonia, sulfides, the metals, ions like metal ion like sodium, potassium, magnesium, calcium and aluminium, and heavy metals and some organics like chlorophenols, halogenated aliphatics, nitrogen substitute aromatic, long chain fatty acids, etc. are present, then it will be act as the inhibitor, then it will be a problem for the anaerobic digestion. Then the next one is the feedstock. The feedstock can include the biodegradable waste such as the waste paper, the grass clippings or leftover food, sewage and animal waste, etc. All those things whatever we have discussed initially. So the feedstock is very, very important. Then the next one is the moisture content, the aeration and the moisture content, the water content. The moisture content of the feedstock affect the type of system which is utilized for the treatment. Then generally the key consideration in the moisture water is required, along with the carbon to nitrogen ratio is also very, very important. The optimal carbon to nitrogen ratio is 20 to 30 is to 1. 20 to 30 is to 1 is the nitrogen content. Then the next one is the contamination. The level of contamination in the feedstock material is one of the another important problem. If feedstock has physical contaminants such as plastic, glass, metals, then it should be removed. Otherwise, if it is not removed, the digester will be blocked and will not be function effectively. The microbial activity will not be attained. Okay, so that is another important aspects. Then to remove the contaminants from the feedstock, the material can be properly shredded or minced or mechanically or hydrolytically pulped. It should be properly mixed. Okay, so all this contaminants should be segregated and it should be properly pulped, shredded and minced to avoid this contamination. Next one is the concentration of the feed or a substrate. Okay, the substrate composition is a major factor in determining the methane yield and methane production rate from the digestion of biomass. So the substrate concentration, one of the important aspects for the production of methane gas and the rate of production and methane yield. There are solid, elemental and organic analysis are very, very important for the for determining the substrate concentration. Then this is also one of the important design parameter and operation parameter for anaerobic digestion. Then it is very essential to estimate the carbon dioxide partitioning between the aqueous and the gas phases. Okay, so it is very essential to estimate the carbon dioxide that is commonly present in this particular gas. So that is another important aspects. Then this is a simplest design of an anaerobic digester. You can see all these particular chambers, the pipelines, okay, and you can see the digesters, you can see, okay, and from here how the digestion is happening. So this is the engineered design of an anaerobic digester. So this is a very huge system. It require a certain space. Okay, so that is the thing. Then what are the advantages of this biodigester, okay, biodigestion process? So the biodigestion, anaerobic digestion, which generate the renewable energy. A small land area that is required. Most of the structure can be built underground. As I said, if you look, most of the structure, only this much will be there outside, and majority of the part will be inside the soils. Okay, that can be constructed in underground. Okay, then which can be built in a locally available materials also. There is no specific materials are required. Locally available material can be used. Next one is no electrical energy is required. Okay. The combined treatment of animal, human and solid organic waste can be done parallelly. Then the conservation of all the nutrient, whatever it is available in the waste. The long service life also will be there, and the capital cost is comparatively less or moderate when compared to other operating procedures. Okay. But there are some disadvantages also. It requires expert design. I showed you this design. It requires an expert design for the ideal construction of a biodigester, and it requires skilled construction. Skillful people it is required to construct. Okay. So the substrate need to contain high amount of organic matter for biogas. So you have to get a lot of initial component substrate for the substrate high amount of organic material that is required for the biogas. Okay. Then the incomplete pathogen removal, the digestible might require further treatment. So if the pathogens are not completely removed, then this digestate required additional treatment before they are using as a fertilizer. Then limited gas production below 15 percentage, 15 degrees centigrade. Okay, limited gas production required 15. It require 15 degree centigrade for the operations. Okay, so this is the another important aspect. Okay, so the next one is it require a seeding. That is, it require a seeding means startup can be long due to the low growth of anaerobic organism. The growth rate of anaerobic organism is very, very slow. Okay, so this particular anaerobic organism, it will be growing very slowly, so it will require long time, and it requires seeding also to start the process. Then what are the applications of anaerobic digestion? It replaces the fossil fuels and reduce or eliminating the energy footprints of waste treatment plants. Okay, then it reducing the methane emission from landfill, which displace the industrially produced chemical fertilizers, which is reducing the vehicle movement. Okay, which reduces the electrical grid transportation loss, which reduce the usage of liquefied petroleum gas for cooking. And this is an important component of zero waste initiative. This is one of the important aspects for to acquire the sustainable energy. Okay, sustainable ecosystem, zero waste. Okay, so the waste management. In addition to that, we have already discussed this is an important secondary treatment step in wastewater and water treatment. We can generate power because biogas is there. Vehicle fuel can be produced. The digestate can be used as a fertilizer and soil conditioner. We can use this as an excellent cooking gas. Biogas we can use as a cooking gas. If you connect this particular pipe, okay, to your kitchen, to a gas, okay, or in your stove, that can be used for a cooking gas. Okay, so that is another important application. Then the most important products are biogas, digestates and water. That contribute less number of contaminants and toxic components. Then what are the major varieties or major variants of anaerobic digesters? There are so many variants of anaerobic digesters are there. That is known as these are some important topic. When you are going for the higher studies, you may study in detail. Okay, upflow anaerobic sludge blanket digester or UASB digester, a plug flow anaerobic digester, then solid state anaerobic digester or SSAD. Next one is continuous stirred drying reactor or CSTR. Next one is expanded granular sludge bed digester or EGSB, anaerobic expanded bed reactor, anaerobic migrating blanket reactor, two-stage anaerobic digester. So these are the future aspects of the conventional anaerobic digester. In industrial level, they will be able to get this actually. Okay, so that's all, dear students. We can conclude this particular section. Once again, you can glance through this particular topic whatever we have discussed. So we have discussed the anaerobic digestion, the introduction, then the overview of anaerobic digestion, what are the major concepts of anaerobic digestion, why anaerobic digestion is very, very important, what is the scope of anaerobic digestion, and what is the principle of anaerobic digestion, and what is the structure of an anaerobic digester, what is the mechanism of anaerobic digestion, in which there are stages: hydrolysis, acidogenesis, acetogenesis, and methanogenesis, and what is the role of microorganism. That is very, very important in sanitation microbiology. What are the basic type of anaerobic digester? One is wet, another one is dry digester. How will you configure the anaerobic digester, and what are the design criteria such as complexities, the residence time, inhibition, feedstock, moisture content, contamination, and substrate compositions. Okay, next one is the advantages. Then we have discussed the disadvantages and what are the application of the digestion. Then what are the major variants and future designs of anaerobic digester. So that's all, dear students, in this topic. So you can refer any solid waste management book or environmental microbiology book. You will be able to see this particular topic. So thank you very much for watching this particular class. You can see this is a beautiful anaerobic digestion that is located, and you can see so much of lot of tons of anaerobic waste material can be processed, and that can be the end product can be transported through the pipe, and that can be used for the bioenergy for the domestic and industrial purpose. So thank you very much for watching this particular class. If you are having any doubt, you can write it to me, or you can ask me. Thank you very much.